Hello. Yeah, I've just arrived in Paris. I'm here for 4 days and specifically here to shoot some images for my second book. And it's middle of October, but it's beautiful sunny weather outside. You're never quite sure if you've got the correct amount of images to make a book. That only comes at the end of the when you get back home and check all the images to see if there's a body of work that's possible. Shoot enough images to create a second book. I created my first one a year ago and it's called Bombe Le Torse, and I got the title from some graffiti I found when I was walking around. I call it binge shooting, so I'm binge shooting, and so I'm here alone. I don't want any distractions, otherwise if you've got company it's impossible to shoot for a book. So I'll be shooting all day, every day, all the time I'm here. I'm not looking for one great image. I'm looking for images that bond together, that tie together, that have got some interest. They tell a story, over a piece of work rather than just having one specific image. So that's why I come alone, because I don't want any distractions, because I'm here to, really try and fine tune the kind of work I'm looking for. So I'm looking for images that tie together. The work I'm hoping to shoot for the book is more kind of abstract, if you like, but it's very people-based, very space-based. It's kind of very urban work. Never quite sure on the subject or the way it's going to go. You just keep an open mind and you just go for it. So that's what I'm doing. It worked before and I'll do it again. I don't really know if there's going to be enough work for the book until I get home and sort out the images and see. Sometimes it doesn't always work, you need to, there needs to be a kind of vibe running through the work to create the story. I'm more interested in a body of work rather than one powerful image. For me, that works better. Possibly it will be black and white images, I'm not sure yet. I tend to, somewhere like Paris is more attuned to black and white, because it's a bit like London, really, a bit like England. It's a bit grey and overcast. All being well, it's going to be a great action-packed 4 days, so I'm really looking forward to it. Hello, guess where I am? That's right in front of the Eiffel Tower. I'm now into day 3 of my excursion into Paris to shoot this this book, street photography workbook, and so far so good. I've still got another day and a half to go, so looking to shoot a bit more video and also obviously shoot more street work. Today's been a bit slow, but first 2 days were really good. In fact, yesterday was so good that I got assaulted by a French guy, but all in all, I just brushed him off, and he was shouting and screaming in French. I didn't understand what he was saying. Obviously something to do with me taking photographs of him or somebody around him, but that's all part and parcel of the business, you know. Sometimes you're going to get verbal abuse, or, you know, worst comes to the worst, you're going to get assaulted, but it's the nature of the beast. You have to come to terms with that and learn how to deal with that when it happens. Basically, I just ignored him. I didn't try and antagonize him, and the thing that bemused me a little bit was the fact that there was other people. There's a very busy area in Paris in the north, and there was 1 or 2 other guys that come on his side, so that was a little bit concerning, but yeah, like I said, I managed to just move on and move away from it. So yeah, you got to be on your wits. You got to be a little bit careful with street photography. It can, you know, a situation can become inflamed, and it can be a little bit volatile. So you just try and keep as cool as you can. Don't try and antagonise the situation. Just play it down and then move on as soon as you get a chance. So that's what I did, really. But yeah, I'm super excited that this will be my second book if it comes to fruition. You know, because 12 months ago I made my first Paris book, and it was called Bombe Le Torse, as I said earlier, and really excited about that. I'm super keen to get to know any book publishers or find some exhibition space that potentially could show my work. The book at the moment from last year is super expensive, and I'm trying to find out how I could get maybe 100 copies or 200 copies for a reduced rate of, so I'll be able to sell them for maybe 15, 20 quid each. So that's something I'm looking towards in the near future, and I'm really excited about getting this book off the ground as well. It's been my Paris part 2. If you've not been to Paris before, it's a great place to take photos. There's so many different parts to it. Like today, I got on train 12 on the underground, and I just went right to the last stop, and then I'm gradually walking my way back. It doesn't seem quite as big as London, but it's still quite big. You know, all this walking keeps you fit anyway. But on the way, I'm trying to get as many interesting situations as I can find. I don't shoot anything, you know. It has to be a bit quirky. It has to suit my goals, my aims. So I still treat my camera as if it's got film in it. I'm very methodical. I don't go blazing away like some machine gun photographers. So I'll come to Paris with 3 cameras actually, but my main go-to cameras is this little baby. It's my Olympus Pen F. Most of my work is being shot on this camera. I'm using both autofocus and manual focus, and It's pretty decent camera. The one fault is when the sun's shining over your shoulder into the camera, into the viewfinder, it does knock out the sensor, which is a bit weird. So you have to try and cover it as best you can with your eye. But apart from that, it's a really good camera. It's 20 megabyte. It's a micro four thirds sensor. I got it 3 years ago, and I'm still learning little tricks about it. You can actually, you know, set it up in camera, which is great. I tend to shoot in RAW and JPEG, and I set it to black and white. So the JPEGs are black and white, but the RAW's obviously colour. But for the images for the book, I'll be using the RAW files, and then finding out the pictures I choose, and then edit them accordingly. But I have to say I've been very lucky with the weather. I got here Thursday in the morning, and ever since then it's been really dry. It's been sunny off and on, and it's very warm. It's over 20 degrees, which is in mid-October, which is brilliant. You know, apparently in London it's about 10 degrees and it's raining, and cold. But I mean, I've been walking around in shorts since I arrived, and I've been wearing my new red Converse. Anyway, it's 3 o'clock now, and I'm just heading back into the city to get some more shots. One thing about Paris that I really enjoy is going into a coffee bar, just having a cup of coffee and sparkling water generally. And that really sets you up. Anyway, I'll tune in later. So it's Sunday, it's day 4 of my trip to Paris, and just packing up some of my stuff. So then I'll go down and have some breakfast before I head into town. Probably go very central Paris today, and finish off the last of my 4 days. So far so good. Done some good work. Whether I've done enough to create a body of work for a book, you never can tell until you get back and, you know, take a look at the images, because I don't like dwelling too much on the images while I'm here. I have a quick look to see if there's any sort of patterns evolving or emerging, and so far it's been quite a tough trip, to be honest. Done a lot of walking, moved around different parts of Paris. Like yesterday, Saturday, I took the train all the way down to the bottom of line 12, which has ended up in South Paris, and then walked back into the city, which was really great. I enjoyed that. And the weather's been really kind to me, to be honest. It's been great. And like today, it's a beautiful sunny day. It's warm, hot. It's middle of October. It's amazing. So yeah, what I'm trying to get out of this trip is to produce my second book, following on from last year where I made my first book called Bombe Le Torse. And super excited really, but sort of very apprehensive as to whether I've got enough work for this book. But I've still got one more day, albeit I have to be out of the hotel today this morning by midday, but I'll be gone by 10 or 11 into town. This is the best way for me to work. I call it binge shooting, where you commit to 2, 3, 4 days a week, no distractions, and you're out and about morning to evening. And that's why it's best, well, for me to come alone. You know, I don't want any distractions and just need to get on with what I'm trying to do, which is produce work. Photography for me is super exciting because you never know what you're going to get from one day to the next. And just by moving a few steps left or right, back or forward, you can change the power of a shot. And that only comes with experience. You start to notice, just by waiting a few seconds, that the shot could be improved if you're waiting for somebody to walk into the camera or something like that. And also, over experience, you start to see things much quicker. So that will improve your composition, because composition's everything. Good light, good composition, and to best tell your story. So my next step is to go and get some breakfast.
Départ prévu à 18h13. Merci de placer vos bagages volumineux munis d'étiquettes dans les porte-bagages situés aux entrées des voitures. Vos bagages à main doivent être rangés